The clock is ticking in Washington. Republicans are racing to pass President Trump's big, beautiful bill, a sweeping package of tax cuts and domestic policy changes. Their goal, get it to the president's desk before July 4th. This bill is the centerpiece of Trump's second-term agenda and a defining moment for the GOP. The White House is calling it a make-or-break test, claiming it will secure America's financial future and borders. President Trump is leading the charge, rallying lawmakers in public and behind closed doors. The House narrowly passed its version, 215 to 214, revealing deep divisions. Now, all eyes are on the Senate, where the Republican majority is razor-thin. Every vote counts, and the stakes couldn't be higher. For Trump, it's a chance to fulfill campaign promises. For Republicans, a shot at delivering for their base. Failure could mean accusations of incompetence and political fallout. The White House warns of dire economic consequences if the bill fails. The next few days will decide the fate of this landmark legislation. The pressure is on, and the outcome will shape the political narrative for the rest of the year. The bill isn't just policy, it's a test of party unity and leadership. The Senate showdown will determine whether Republicans can govern. The stakes: millions of Americans, the president's legacy, and the GOP's future. The countdown is on. The nation is watching. The battle lines are drawn. What's in the bill? Two main pillars: permanent tax cuts and tougher border security. The bill locks in the 2017 tax cuts, aiming to boost certainty for families and businesses. Supporters say it will keep the economy growing and prevent a looming tax hike. The second pillar: border security, a Trump signature. The bill ramps up enforcement and aims to make illegal entry harder. Red meat for the GOP base. A third controversial piece: Medicaid reforms to block illegal immigrants from benefits. Vice President Vance and party leaders touted these changes as essential. But in the Senate, Medicaid reforms hit a wall. These three elements, taxes, borders, Medicaid, were designed to unite the Republican coalition. Tax cuts for fiscal conservatives, border security for the base, Medicaid reforms for spending hawks. But the complexity of the package has made passage a monumental challenge. Each piece appeals to a different faction, but together they've created fierce debate. The bill's fate now hangs on whether Republicans can keep their coalition together. The stakes: a new vision for America's domestic policy. The Senate was always the bill's toughest test. With just 53 Republicans, the margin for error is tiny. They're using reconciliation, a process that lets them bypass a filibuster with 51 votes. But reconciliation has strict rules, and that's where trouble hit. Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonough ruled the Medicaid changes out of order. Their policy, not budget. That forced Republicans to strip Medicaid reforms from the bill, upending their strategy. Now, the bill is mostly tax cuts and border security. Some conservatives are wavering and the coalition is fraying. Senate leaders are scrambling to salvage support before the July 4th deadline. The clock is ticking, and every hour counts. The parliamentarians' ruling has thrown the process into chaos. Lawmakers must decide: push forward with a slimmed-down bill or risk missing their deadline. The Senate is now the main event, a high-stakes drama where every vote matters. The next few days will test Republican unity like never before. The outcome will define the party's ability to govern. The pressure is relentless. The nation waits for a verdict. With the Senate so closely divided, a handful of Republicans hold the bill's fate. Lose 4, and the bill fails. All eyes are on moderates like Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. Collins worries about rural hospitals and healthcare impacts in her state. Murkowski faces similar concerns for Alaska's remote communities. Josh Hawley of Missouri is another possible holdout, citing rural healthcare worries. These senators are under intense pressure from party leaders, the White House, and their constituents. President Trump is urging unity, warning of the political cost of failure. Some predict Republicans will fall in line to avoid blame for a tax hike. But these senators must balance party loyalty with their state's needs. Their votes are true toss-ups. The lobbying is fierce and the stakes are personal. The final decision rests with a few key players. The nation is watching their every move. If the Senate deadlocks, Vice President Vance holds the deciding vote. As president of the Senate, he's broken ties before, on cabinet picks and tariffs. Now, he could cast the vote that delivers Trump's signature bill. The White House is preparing for this scenario, counting every vote. If just 50 Republicans say yes, Vance can push the bill over the finish line. The stakes: permanent tax cuts, new border rules, and Trump's legacy. Failure could mean recession warnings and political fallout. The outcome will test Republican unity and Trump's influence. The margin is razor thin. The nation is on edge. One vote could change everything.